Alrighty, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Osmania 7 Key World Cup 2024. When we started this tournament about a month ago, we had 24 teams vying for a spot or a shot at that coveted world title. We're now down to the top 6, 4 of which need to fight amongst themselves to see who will take that last spot on the podium. Color to be decided, of course, but gotta start somewhere. For now, we have the defending champions in the Philippines going up against seems to be perennial finalists in Thailand. As always, my name is Sparky, and I am joined in the commentary booth by none other than Bulma Gamer PH76, also known as Siloeska Els. Els, how you doing?
It's a mouthful you just said there, but yes, indeed, that is me, Bulma Gamer Page 76, also known as Siloeska Els. But I'm doing fine. I actually just woke up from a nap, almost went a little bit too much. I mean, I'm pretty sure you almost you were asleep as well, weren't you?
Oh, absolutely. We're opposite ends of the globe here, trying to make sure we bring on the best production possible. But I mean, it's always exciting waking up for a match like this. These two countries have such a long history going up against each other. Wouldn't you say?
Definitely. I mean, Philippines and Thailand, like these two countries are very close in terms of region. Like literally, they're on the same area and whatever like that. They're talking about Southeast Asia here. But I think what makes it more interesting is Philippines and Thailand have, I'd say, an equal amount of history when it comes to 7K VSRG. Like, they're both some of the most successful countries, at least in terms of placing very high. I mean, especially, we've known this matchup is like in 2017. That one was a nail biter if you were there. I mean, I wasn't myself. I just really saw the replay and all that. But that was a very intense match.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a lot of shared history between these two countries. And of course, can't go through a match featuring the Philippines without mentioning current defending champions, able to dethrone South Korea last year, now brought down to the losers bracket by aforementioned South Korea, them being able to get the revenge last weekend by a score of 6-0. Now put up against the ropes here in finals weekend. Gonna be bit of a hill to climb, but they've definitely shown some formidability to make it through tough times before.
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's gonna be a lot of difficult moments. So we're seeing LN3 being protected by Thailand. I'm not surprised because, like, Thailand historically is known to be a country that's more onto the long note side. But when it comes to Philippines, though, they're also proficient in long notes. So honestly, a little bit concerning. But looking at the reaction of Ojisan right there, I think that may have been something that Thailand hit the mark on.
Yeah, for sure. So it'll be interesting to see what the Philippines opts to protect before they get an opportunity to ban here, because we might be seeing both these countries wanting to linger in this lower half of the map pool, and they'll be taking pop shots at each other later on during this match to see who gets those points on those rice picks, saying that there is 7 now to go through.
Yeah, 7. Assuming nothing's banned.
That's true.
But we have to wait. We have to wait. I have a feeling there's the off chance that both teams ban Rice. I won't be surprised if that happens actually, because again, like what I said, both countries are proficient at the long note side. Okay, never mind then. So we're seeing Rice 4 protect. I believe, yeah, that's Volstead bar. In before Philippines bans another Rice.
Yeah, remains to be seen. So Rice 4 getting protected, pretty interesting pick, but I mean, out of the rest of the maps in that Rice category, feels like the most straightforward to swing. Might just come down to a bit of, can you handle the BPM? Can you still swing an FC on something like that with good ratio, maybe avoid those 200 drops here and there. But we're definitely reaching a point where being able to get a good performance on something like Volstead Bar is going to be a bit of a feat. And the Philippines going to opt to ban Hybrid 2 here.
Oh man, they're going to be banning. I believe this is a custom, right? Kind of unfortunate, but I can see why they'd ban this.
Yeah,
I can
makes
see
sense.
why. But
Dur-
yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say during the showcase, seeing that there's definitely a lot of intricacies to that map, and maybe just don't want to bring Thailand into the fold to try and compete against them on something like it. And especially because of the fact that they're both going to want to stay in this lower half of the map pool, might as well get rid of potentially the most contentious map out of the ones that are down there, and Thailand opting to ban Rice 5, so Clover going to be removed from the map pool as well.
But I mean, if they really are going to be banning Clover, I think that's going to be concerning for me because Philippines, in my opinion, should not be too far ahead of Thailand in terms of the rice department. I do think there are some picks that are contestable, but man, do they have to be careful in that regard. Because let's see what the first pick's gonna be. It has to be. I'm gonna guess LN3 already. Some teams have opted to pick their protects very early on, and if they pick that to start things off, I won't be surprised. I mean, remember, these two teams are fighting for their lives, really. Like, they're going to be eliminated the moment they lose this match.
Yeah, there is no more room for error for these two countries, and they're not done this weekend. If they do end up winning, they do have a match after this, so a lot to think about. And it looks like they're going to opt to start things off on Hybrid 3. A reminder to those of you watching along, we have expanded the best of format. This is now a best of 13. First team to 7 points will be taking home the victory in this match. We're going to start it off on Hybrid 3. Let's see who's going to come in contest on this pick.
I'd say it should be Kura and Sani, actually. Or Ojisan and Sani. Yeah, there we go. Kura Sani is the one that really makes a lot of sense. We're already in finals week, and like, Sani is one of those players that's really geared towards the finals round. So I'm not surprised seeing Sani in a map like this.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a good option for support for somebody like Oji-san, who's probably going to stay in for most, if not all, of these picks for the Philippines. Meanwhile, for Thailand, probably going to be seeing this duo as well, Lost Cool and Natsurio, up to contest for the moment, unless there are any last-second substitutions here. This will probably be the lineups we'll be seeing for both these countries for pretty much this entire match, barring maybe a pick or two here or there. And it looks like they are ready to go. Let's get underway with this first map of this best of 13.
Well, we'll have to see first. See, what I'm really curious to see is Hybrid really going to be worth it? Well, let's find out. And I mean, to be fair, with hybrids, you don't exactly reveal too much information there. Like, yeah, there is a mix of rice and long notes, but literally there are only 3 other hybrid picks right now. Actually, no, 1 other hybrid pick because one of them is banned. So, that being said, this is not exactly an advantageous pick, especially if you don't win this. Because again, information-wise, yeah, sure, not that much leak, but you don't really have many other options other than this.
Yeah, for sure. And during that introduction, we've already seen both Thai players losing their full combos here. Lost Goal finding the first drop, Natsurio following soon thereafter. Meanwhile, on the other side, Oji-san and Sani holding down the fort, both above their Thai counterparts through this introduction going into the second quarter, with Natsurio finding yet another drop as Lost Goal follows soon thereafter on this LN section. Oji-san falls as well. So that's 3 FCs gone. Through this introduction, Sani only one hanging on now as everybody's starting to trade misses back and forth going into the second third of this chart.
Also, something I would like to note here, something that Thailand completely overlooked was look at that OD 6.5. Sunny has been sort of the player that's had lower accuracy compared to like Ojisan, right? And now that the OD isn't exactly too high, Sunny's gonna be very comfortable acting this, and it's showing right now. Like the mere fact that Lost Cool is around this accuracy and we still have a higher player here, this is a very concerning pick, honestly.
Yeah, maybe some things to reconsider moving forward for Thailand, but I mean, they needed to throw out a first pick, and this one currently not working out in their favor as we make our way into the last third of the chart. And we'll be back up over that 400 combo cap, some misses traded back and forth during that last section. And after the build-up, we get into this final quarter of the chart. Sani still holding on to the FC. It is 50,000 points in favor of the Philippines at the moment on Thailand's picks. Lazaro finds another drop here, and things going from bad to worse. They're going to need a number of misses coming out from the Philippines, but right now they are holding steady, trying to take this first breakpoint away from Thailand with about an eighth of the chart left to go here.
Wow, Sunny's impressive consistency right now is really helping, not to mention Kura's accuracy. These sort of patterns are I'd expect Thailand to also be very proficient at, but the accuracy and consistency have not been the same. We're approaching the end of the map. That being said, I think the Philippines, by the way, it is a full combo.
Oh my goodness, what a performance from Sani, backed up by Oji-san. Higher accuracy, but that singular miss in support, and Philippines able to pick up that first break point here to make it 1-0 to start this match off.
Very impressive work from everyone, really. Getting a 97 even on this map is super impressive, considering that we're seeing those kinds of patterns like Soda Jacks, the rolls and all that. Super difficult, really. That being said, what would the Philippines pick? I'd say, honestly, looking at the pool right now, if they are indeed warmed up, I'd go for Moongate, but I think you should save that for later. However, if not, I think they could go Hybrid 1. You win Hybrid 3 by a very considerable margin. I think that's convincing enough already for Hybrid 1.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, it does open a couple more avenues, especially because of how convincingly they won that first map. Maybe they don't even need to venture into those rice picks, can just kind of exhaust some of the denser LNs in the pool first, see if they have a bit of a physicality edge on that front before going into stuff that they maybe be more comfortable on in that rice pool. Just kind of pick and choose what they want. Now looks like they're gonna go for LN1 here, actually.
Long note 1. I mean, Thailand has a long note protect, so interesting. But this probably is just something that they're trying to like stamp their, I guess, their confidence and all that, and show that even on their own strengths, they can also do that. And I can see why they'd want to. It's definitely the morale factor, and also just really trying to perform better even on the picks that they think Thailand may have a chance on. Because if they win that, if they take advantage of that, then morale would really be in their favor, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Confidence definitely becomes a bit of a factor in matches like this, especially if you feel like your opponent might have a chance at taking stuff or taking points away from you on your preferred map set or map style. Then definitely throws a bit of a spanner in the works. Maybe cause for reconsideration for future picks. Do you change up the strategy? Do you stick to your guns and continue picking what you know, what you planned on going through? But for right now, a lot of things to consider, but for right now we gotta get through what's presently in front of us, and that is currently LN1. Still gonna see the same 4 players. I think Lots Cool restarted their client just to make sure that things were operating at peak efficiency. Definitely want to make sure You're firing on all fronts before going into a match like this, so
I'm not surprised. I mean, yeah, that's fair. But, I would have thought Kenzie would have come in here. But Natsurio, I think, makes a lot of sense, actually. Though, this is 2 minutes and 35 seconds. And looking at that OD again, like I've been saying a while ago, I can see why Philippines would go for this now. If the OD isn't high at all, I think they could really use that to their advantage, especially with accuracies and all that. Because when the OD is lower, Sunny is just much more comfortable in that regard. And they're really able to make a push and see, and you'd be able to see how consistent and accurate they really are on such a wide timing window.
yeah, for sure. And during that discussion, you did mention Kenzie, right on cue, shows up to replace Natsurio. Gonna be a little bit more suited for an LN pick like this, so they're gonna be trying to back up Lost Cool in their quest to try and take back that first breakpoint that they gave over to the Philippines here.
Well then, is it going to be worth it? Now let's find out. Again, like, it's really just a game of if you're able to take advantage of these weaknesses that you might spot on your opponents. And I think Philippines saw something on the Thai side as to why they picked this. Oh, I actually just noticed, but Kenzie is indeed in for this pick. As I've said, this is the player who I'm expected to come in. And right now, both PH players have an AC lead against the Thai side. So this is really an advantage they need to take they really need to capitalize on this right now.
Yeah, so far looking good for the Philippines. Both players hovering in and around that 99.4%. Lost Coal trying to cancel out one of those scores, but really Kenzie not having the best of openers in comparison to everybody else in the lobby, down into that low 98% range. But Sani actually picking up the first drop here, maybe just overholding that Yorbar getting spread really far apart. A lot of late releases here, and one of them just finally catching them out. But they still managed to hold on to the lead to the tune of about 10,000 points off the back of that impressive accuracy discrepancy that they have built up over Thailand going into the back half of the chart now.
Actually, looking at that miss, it wasn't an overhold. It was probably a double tap or a very early release on the space bar, which is super unfortunate. Those kinds of misses are like really annoying to deal with. That being said though, all the Philippines really has to do right now is keep that accuracy, because they really have the advantage against Ken Z right now. Oh, like as I say that, a mistake happened. And these are the patterns that I would argue benefit the Philippines actually, because never mind. Wait a second.
You say that, but Sani finds the drop in response, trades it with Ken Z, and Sani finds yet another one here, but I think they've built up enough of a cushion to try and tank through some of those misses because of the fact that Oji-san's canceling out the score from Lost Cool. So basically a cross-map battle beginning to develop here. Sani versus Kenzie. Who can hang on here towards the end? Kenzie dropping down into that 97% range and finding yet another drop. So the Philippines going to be able to consolidate some of those points lost and begin to regrow this advantage to the tune of about 23,000 points going into the last 8 of this chart.
Yeah, I mean, see, if Kenzie misses, it's going to be much more effective to the score because of how much lower the accuracy is compared to Sani. And these kinds of patterns, you just see Lost Cool and Oji-san killing it right now. Short LNs and coordination mixed together is a pattern that you really have to be careful on. Yet these 4 players, my goodness, that's I think a 97 at least on everyone. Yeah, it is indeed a 97 at least. And excuse me, Lost Cool and Kura or Oji-san, these scores, man, they both just casually FC'd that.
Yeah, barely even broke a sweat, just crossing over that double-digit 200 mark. Every other judgment kept perfectly clean. It was really just who had the better support on that chart, and the Philippines able to successfully capitalize on that breakpoint to start this match off 2-0 now.
I think Thailand's gonna be picking Fluctuate, honestly. Like, it's starting to bleed a little bit. Like usually I would wait for the other team to pick more before you pick your own protect. But right now, you're sort of in a position where you have to win. Like those 2 wins have not been close at all. Yet they're picking Hybrid 1, which in my opinion is not a good pick at all. I don't think this is the way you should be going.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you reach a sort of crossroads in the openings of matches when you've kind of been sucker punched in the beginning, your opponent takes that first break point, and then they pick into what you really wanted to go into for this match in terms of map style, and they manage to swing a performance on that as well. So you get that decision opening up for you where do you continue with your strategy? Do you continue with what you were going to opt to go for as a pick order to start this match off, or do you change things up here? It's interesting to think what that second pick would have been to see if maybe Hybrid 1 was going to be their second pick regardless of what happened. But right now, I mean, decisions need to be made, and Hybrid 1, this could be a turning point. If Philippines takes this, I'm not sure what else that Thailand can go into to try and claw some points back here. There's definitely stuff out there, but they're going to need to find it as we make our way into this third map. Kenzie staying in for this. All 4 players staying perfectly put on Hybrid 1.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I think normally in Hybrid 1 would be a more Rice-oriented hybrid. I mean, I could be wrong, especially with how things might work differently. Though, at least right now, it is more Rice-oriented. And now, coming onto the LNs, this is where I think Philippines could really start to make a difference.
Yeah, for sure. Ken's and Lost Cole finding a multitude of drops during this LN section. Philippines able to just kind of spread their wings and start extending this lead through this introduction. 20,000 points already, with both of them managing to hang on to their FCs through that opening gauntlet. So they managed to make it through that dense core stream. They managed to make it through the dense LN. We take a tiny bit of a break. Some coordination LNs, some anchors here and there, and a chance for everybody to kind of consolidate their accuracy, begin to build up before we get into the back half of the chart now. Still about a minute to go here. Thailand not out of it yet, but they're really going to need the Philippines to start slipping up here if they want to try and make a dent in this lead that they have built up.
See those mini jacks right there? Those patterns have really been making Thailand suffer the whole match. But so has Sunny, actually. These are the kind of stuff... Oh, wow! As soon as I say that, Philippines is starting to find a few misses already. And yeah, those mini jacks still affecting Kenzie right now, which is not a good look at all. But Sunny trades them. It's just the accuracy is a little bit too far ahead for Sunny right now.
Yeah, full percent ahead of Kenzie at the moment. And once again, Lost Cole and Oji-san just kind of having their own little mini duel, canceling each other out. And the fact that Sunny is able to win the duels versus Kenzie and Natsurio earlier on in this match is really paying dividends for the Philippines at the moment. These victories have been pretty convincing at the end of the day, and looks like they're going to be able to pick up a second break point now to make it 3-0.
Yeah, this is exactly why I wasn't confident with this pick. Both Lost Cole and Kura, yeah, they were having their own battle, but we saw those mini jacks and all that, and that really was not helping Thailand the entire match. Like, even Lost Cole missed on a couple of mini jacks there.
Yeah, there are definitely some really hard patterns. These guys make these maps look so easy when they play through them, but to the normal person, I hats off. I would not be able to even fathom swinging a performance on something like that. So kudos to them. That does it for the hybrid maps in this map pool, though. So now Thailand gonna have to pick, do they want to go into Rice? Do they want to go into LN? They've kind of been a little non-committal in their picks so far. So now we're gonna see, what do they want to go for? Do they adapt? Do they go for the Rice? Do they stick to what they know, what they've made it this far on those LNs? But right now, not their pick. It is gonna be the Philippines. They're gonna go for Rice 7.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very logical pick. If there are indeed a few mini jacks here, then I can see why the Philippines would go for a pick like that. That being said, though, now 4 minutes and 17 seconds, fatigue has gotta kick here at some point, right? And maybe the Philippines wants to make Thailand tired, because the Philippines does not look tired at all. Thailand's team composition doesn't look that much either, but they're trying to push them to that point.
Yeah, for sure. Strain definitely becomes a bit of a factor, especially when we already see the trends beginning to develop. There's some accuracy discrepancies between some of these players, and the head-to-head matchups between them, once we put them against each other, there's clear outliers, clear people that are winning those battles. And on something like this, very technical, very mixed in terms of what's being asked of you. The styles begin to change. You see a lot of course, you see a lot of delay, you see a lot of those mini jacks that you bring up, where there's no real comfortable point in this chart. And as Natsurio checks back in for Thailand, Ojisan and Sani staying put for the Philippines here. Can Thailand find a way to kind of flip this on the Philippines, turn this into a chance to get a breakpoint back? Because you're going to need to start finding some soon before this gets really out of hand here.
I mean, gotta wait for it though. Still a little bit too early to see. Like, you never know. Maybe the rice is actually much better than what we are seeing under LMs and hybrids, at least compared to the Philippines. However, the thing about rice is, it usually has a higher OD. And this is where I think Sani might struggle a little bit, at least in terms of the accuracy. Already getting a few 200s to start, which is not a good sign. But now on the bursts and rolls here, and oh, that's a drop on Natsurio on those mini jacks actually. Like what I said a while ago, it's those patterns that Thailand really struggles on. Well,
that being said, Sani trading back some of those misses here, and as things start to get denser, it's again going to be this cross-map battle. Sani versus Natsurio, Oji-san and Law School. Law School actually winning the battle now, and it keeps this lead in check for the Philippines now, as Natsurio finds a couple of drops on these core jack patterns. Law School falls as well. Now it's going to do some pretty significant damage now, as Philippines now makes it a 5-digit lead, 10,000 points going into the second quarter of the chart. There's still 3 minutes left to go here, and oh boy, things are just going to really start flying off the handle here.
Yeah, we see Natsurio finding consecutive drops, and that's not what you'd want to see. But Oji-san finding a drop, also, this is what Thailand means, like seeing Philippines' best accuracy, finding a mistake, that's a good sign of things to come. But consider this, Natsurio has the lowest act and also has been missing. This is gonna just increase the advantage for the Philippines, at least right now.
Yeah, the margin for error for Thailand is so much smaller than that of the Philippines. The Philippines building up enough of a cushion to, like I said, tank their way through some of the misses when they do come. Because like I said, it is so hard to keep track of everything that's being asked of you, because the styles are switching so often. You go back into this Great Snow chord stream section, and Natsurio finding the first drop here. Nobody else trading. Everybody above that 4-digit combo mark now, bar them, as they try and make it back up over that 400 combo cap. Half the map still left to go here. Needing to climb back up to the 98% range. And Philippines looking really strong right now. 32,000 points with half the chart still left to go. Another trade. Oji-san Natsurio now finding misses here in this section. But as it stands, I mean, barely puts a dent in the lead that the Philippines has built up here.
And Sani, after building a huge combo, finally finds a mistake on these dense sections. These rolls and mini jacks have really been making Natsurio suffer. Despite Law School being able to hold on, that's just not going to be enough. The team composition is really helping Philippines right now. And now that the patterns are much harder, I won't even be surprised if Law School eventually finds a drop here or there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, everybody is finding drops during some of the hardest sections in this chart. But that being said, Law School manages to hang on through that section. Doesn't have the FC, but this is definitely a very impressive recovery run. 99.4, still trying to keep Oji-san in their sights to try and at least keep that score in check. The 55,000 points basically coming off the back of who the supporting cast is. And as we make our way into this outro, more of the same, this dense chorus stream, a lot of mixed snaps, very nasty staircase bursts in between, and still everybody manages to hang on. They found their footing through this outro. Sure, they took their lickings during the first three chord, 90% of this chart, but as it stands, Natsurio finding a nice couple of drops here, but the damage has been done. The Philippines looking comfortable all throughout in comparison to Thailand on this pick, and they're going to be able to once again successfully capitalize on a breakpoint opportunity and make it 4-0.
Wow, 4-0. Very impressive work. 76,000 points of difference on a Rice map. There's a clear world of difference when it comes to consistency between these two teams. And by the way, Oji-san beating out Law School by only, I believe that's 34 points. Yeah, 34 points.
Oh my goodness. The ratio difference. But, I mean, a singular miss on a map like that is incredible. Like, hats off. Like, these are some incredible performances from everybody across the board. It's just being able to put it together when it matters most is what's really doing the difference for the Philippines. That balanced team composition of Oji-san and Sani really coming to a forefront right now. And right now, I mean, they're taking full advantage of it with Thailand up to pick once again. What do you go for here? Do you stick to the Rice or do you go back down to the LNs? LN3 is still on the cards for them. They still have that protect. But they're going to go for LN2 instead.
I'm not surprised. And by the way, this Zenonia 5 you see on the stream right now, this is not the same Zenonia as in Kenzie. Because Kenzie's past alias, I think, was Zenonia. But this is a different Zenonia, I think. This is one from Korea, actually. Because, like, I was looking at the map right now, I was like, wait, is this the Zenonia from Thailand? Doesn't look like it, actually.
It's like no relation. Dude, just a coincidence. No need to look into it any further, but as we wait to see who's going to contest on this, do we see Kenzie actually sub back in for Thailand on this pick? And for the Philippines, I mean, you're up 4-0. No real reason to take your foot off the gas here. Do you just keep Oji-san and Sani here if they're still feeling good about this?
Well, looks like they are going with the same one.
Alrighty, so Natsurio staying in for Thailand. No Kenzie for this LN pick. A bit of a mix up here, but probably planned from them as we get underway with this fifth map of this best of 13. Philippines currently riding high. Thailand needs to find an answer. Can they find it here on LN2?
Yeah, they need an answer real fast. Because, yeah, it is down 2 breakpoints only. But they have to start winning their own picks as well. And this, not to mention, is slow LN release, it seems. And I would say this is Thailand's territory. But look at the Philippines right now. Yeah, Law School is the highest accuracy out of the whole lobby, but if Natsurio is not going to be consistent enough, then it's just not really going to be enough for Thailand to make an answer. But wait a second, Sani trading one back?
Yeah, it's gonna be the same duel we've been seeing throughout this entire match. Those spacebar LNs really giving Sani a bit of trouble here, and now a pretty significant accuracy drop, but a double miss from Thailand. Natsurio and Law School seeing that window opportunity, not taking advantage as Natsurio finds a multitude of drops. Oji-san finally loses their FC. No more FCs remaining in the lobby, but the damage being taken by Thailand at the moment during this section is allowing the Philippines once again to extend a near insurmountable advantage to the tune of 25,000 points with half the chart still left to go here.
I just realized, but this is the kind of pick that Sani is going to be really destroying And we saw in that one section a while ago that Sunny was the only player that didn't miss. Those short LNs have been making Natsurio suffer, especially when coordination is involved. Very, very concerning really for Thailand right now. Because at this moment, man, both Philippines players have been matching or even doing better in terms of consistency. Like the moment we saw those short LNs a while ago, we saw Thailand sort of really struggle.
Yeah, for sure. Able to recover just a little bit, but Natsurio missing on the transition out of that section. But I mean, the damage has basically already been done, and 8th of the chart still left to go. Philippines once again nursing a 56,000 point lead. And it really just comes off the back of keeping these runs clean and being able to maintain some really high accuracy to contest against the likes of Lost Cool, who currently still has the highest accuracy in his lobbies despite the number of misses that they were finding during some of those harder sections. And as this map comes to an end, MVPing the lobby, but not going to be enough. A third breakpoint going the way of the Philippines, and it is now 5-0.
Gotta give credit where it's due. Sunny also keeping the consistency after those misses. That and also Oji-san literally not finding any misses whatsoever, only 50s. Even though Lost Coast's performance was very impressive, it just was not enough to beat this consistent of a team.
Yeah, for sure. Just that one step above, like just always a step ahead in terms of being able to put that performance together. And right now, I mean, what is the answer? The Philippines now going for what could potentially be their last pick in this match in Rice 1 now. And we're going to see Arquin actually sub in for this pick to back up Oji-san here.
Picking Arquin, huh? I find this so interesting. You're going to be picking Arquin Olivares. I think it's gonna work though. That being said, like this is speed. I think Arquin should be able to play this. But okay, very interesting selection. As for Thailand, I think they're gonna be sticking with Natsurio actually.
Yeah, I think this is more of a, okay, we have an advantage. We can go for maybe some of the riskier picks, something that we probably wouldn't have gone into in a tighter matchup, give an opportunity for, most importantly, Sani to get a break because of the fact that they've played the last 5 maps in a row. Basically, a kind of a luxury pick to go into, give somebody else a chance to sub in and give somebody who's been lending so much support to Oji-san a opportunity to rest their fingers a little bit and get back in to potentially close this match out if things go their way. But as we get this map underway, gonna see a bit of a tug of war begin to develop here. Everybody can handle these delay streams. It's just a matter of, can they maintain the consistency? Can they keep up this 170 BPM onslaught? And Natsurio gonna be the first one to drop, but not the biggest of drops here. Only about 6,000 points, but it's still an advantage nonetheless for the Philippines to work with, as Natsurio finds yet another one, and that one is gonna start doing some damage here as we make our way into the second quarter of the chart now.
You know, it was really looking like a tug of war between Arquin and Natsurio, but Arquin starting to develop a massive advantage. Like, that's around 20,000 points of advantage from Arquin alone, and really, Lost Cool is having an advantage against Oji-san, but this difference between Natsurio and Arquin Olivares is really starting to become a little bit too big.
Yeah, about a full percent in terms of accuracy discrepancy between the two of them, and that is basically the bulk of, if not the entirety of this 25,000 point lead, because of the fact that Lost Cool is able to keep Oji-san in check. Both, actually 3 players still holding on to their FCs going into the last third of the chart here. A bit of a break, a chance for everybody to kind of consolidate, a chance for Natsurio to get back up over that 400 combo cap before this last gauntlet begins to rain down. And as it begins, we see Arquin and Natsurio actually starting to trade here going into this final section. Still about 26,000 points of a buffer. They've built up this cushion once again to be able to tank their way through some of these misses when they do come. But Oji-san finds a drop now, once again, not answered back by the Thailand this time, but they still managed to stretch this advantage. 35,000 points now going into this ending.
It's a little bit too late, honestly. Like, even if Arquin missed right now, the damage has already been done. 30,000 points of difference is almost impossible to come back to, especially when there's only like a few seconds left. And I think that does it. We saw a massive drop on Natsurya's side. I think that actually added like 10,000 points of difference. And just like that, Philippines wins their 6th points. Wait, actually,
Yep,
look at
6
this.
point.
Actually, look at this. Arquin's ratio isn't that far off Lost Cool and Ojisan, but 6 to 100s on this. Okay, that's certainly a performance.
Yeah, reminder, this is finals. just a reminder. Should not be getting that close to a V1SS. That is ridiculous. But unfortunately, not going to be enough to get them a point when all is said and done. Philippines now on match point with Thailand up to pick. The broom going to need to come out for Thailand to try and force that tiebreaker now. So, bit of a last chance saloon if you are Thailand here. What do you want to go into?
I don't know. Honestly, go for LN3. Like, that was their protect, right? I think that's their best choice, really. Either that or LN4. Okay, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, both of them kind of operating in that similar vein of style. So it was really just kind of maybe which one sounds better, which one do we get more comfortable scores on?
I'll be honest though, I'm not sure if I like this pick. Because think of it this way. You protected the map in this pool and you're not going to use it on a 6-0 situation. That's, at least on a tactical perspective, I don't think that's a good move.
I mean, like I said, maybe just we've reached a point where maybe the strategy they came into this match with is maybe just out the window at this point. It's kind of like, okay, what pick do we have that could cause the most discomfort to the Philippines to potentially be able to pull a fast one over on them? And we see some more substitutions here. We see Arona checking in for the Philippines and Kenzie once again for Thailand to basically contest on what could potentially be their last pick in this tournament. Reminder, this is a lower bracket matchup, so loser of this match is eliminated from the tournament.
Well, subbing an Arona for a pick like this is also a really good move. Like, Arona is one of the best LN accuracy players in the game right now, and you're picking Arona to close this LN pick out. I think it makes a lot of sense, but gotta be careful though. We've seen some really good scores from the Thailand side.
Yeah, for sure. All eyes basically on Kenzie to see if they can lend their support to Law School, who has been putting forth some pretty marvelous performances for Thailand, to try and keep them in this match. And Arona actually going to find the first slider break here to open this map off. Still holding on to the advantage because of the accuracy discrepancy between themselves and Kenzie at the moment. But for right now, as everybody else crosses that 400 combo cap and Arona finding yet another drop here, it's going to give Thailand an opening advantage. The first real cushion that they've had to work with. But Kenz immediately trades it back here. And it's going to start dwindling. 3,000 points. Still the advantage for Thailand as we make our way into the second third now. Are they going to be able to keep up the consistency? Arona, yet another drop. It is Oji-san and Law School holding onto the Seoul FCs for their countries. Who is going to blink first? Kenzie finds another drop in response.
Look at this. The accuracies are the same. Never mind. Look at this. Literally 98.6 and 98.1. It's just really Arona versus Kenzie because Oji-san and Law School are canceling each other. Almost the same score really, but 14,000 points. That is going to be really difficult to come back. And Oji-san finds a drop! That's just going to make it massive now for Thailand.
Oh, this is the opening they needed. We were doubting this pick, but Thailand putting their best foot forward at the 11th hour. Law School finally finds a drop. Their second one in this pick. Kenz and Arona trading back and forth once again. The lead has shrunk in half. It was 16,000 points, now 7,000. Thailand up against the ropes, but Arona finding another drop. Oji-san able to build up some semblance of combo here. 800 for them and climbing, but right now Thailand has both players above that 400 combo cap with Arona dropping, and this is what they needed to rebuild this advantage. It is 17,000 points with a quarter of the map still left to go. Can they hang on here?
Oh my goodness. This is not what I expected, by the way. And right now, Ken Z taking full advantage of Arona. This was a really good pick on the Thailand side after all.
What do we know at the end of the day? Kenzie finding yet another drop here, going into the last eighth of the chart. The lead shrinks to about 14,000 points, re-established. It is flickering back and forth. Every miss from Thailand gives the Philippines an opportunity to capitalize on, but I don't think there is enough map left for them to do anything about this. And Thailand gonna be able to avoid the clean sweep. They're gonna notch their first point on the board. It is now 6-1.
What a massive turn of events here.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I guess I was a little bit, I guess we were a little bit too early to call, right?
We were doubting so hard, and we got put in our place as we deserved. Kudos to Thailand. What a performance from Lost Cool. Able to keep pace with Oji-san. Credit to Ken Z, getting bullied a little bit on some of these picks, but able to win out against Arona to basically keep this lead in check for Thailand. It got a little bit dicey there at certain points when the lead shrunk down to about, 3,000 points, but once they got the lead, never looked back from there. And now we go back to the Philippines, and they're going to go for LN5.
Oh, I don't know. Okay. I don't think I like this pick at all. Because you lost an LN pick. I mean, sure, it's different in comparison to LN4. But if you want to close this out, you gotta pick something different. Like, entirely different in terms of fundamentals and all that. So that's why I was thinking you should not go for this pick.
They're just giving us a bit of a show at this point. Because, I mean, they've shown that they can win on LN picks. Like, there's no doubt that the Philippines has it within themselves to swing performances on LN. So that's out of the question. I think it's more just, out of the remaining picks, which ones can we consistently put out good scores on that we maybe enjoy for as much as people can enjoy Nanahira.
Are there any Nanahira enjoyers in the chat? I'm actually really curious.
Probably. But as we get this map underway, once again, similar situation as last time. Thailand, no room for error here. Need to start getting back some of these breakpoints one way or another. But the Philippines going to make it as hard as possible. All four players staying put for this pick once again. And right now, Arona finding the first drop on those staircase releases. And it's going to give Thailand a bit of a cushion to work with. 4,000 points now with no trades back.
Yeah, look at this consistency between Kenzie and Arona. I actually think Arona has a slight act advantage even with the miss and all that. But that's not gonna cut it, especially with how consistent of a player Kenzie is. I mean, the G-Sign is the G-Sign and Lost Cool is Lost Cool. It's those backup players really that's gonna make a difference.
Yeah, for sure. Right now, Lost Cool winning the battle against Oji-san, and with Arona and Kenzie within 0.2% of each other, I mean, this is teetering on a knife's edge right now. Neither country batting an inch between each other as we make our way into the second quarter of the chart. One of the longer LN charts in this pool, and Kenzie finally finds a drop, a pretty significant one as well. Gives the Philippines a tiny sliver of advantage, but it is hundreds of points between them at the moment as we make our way into the second third of the chart.
Wait a second. It's flickering!
Oh no!
But never mind, Lost Cool! Yeah, that really is going to give a little bit of lead to the Philippines, but it's only so tiny. I can barely call this a lead.
No, this is an invisible lead. This is a fake lead. Lost Cool still holding on to the highest accuracy in this lobby. Now back up over that 400 combo cap, but Kenzie finding the drop gonna do a little bit more damage in terms of that score advantage that the Philippines has built up. Now 5,000 points, doubling it in that section. Going into the back half, there's still about a minute and a half left to go here. But as it stands, anything can happen. It just takes one rough section, one inopportune miss, but Kenzie is going to be the one to find it going into this next section. And unless there are trades back, there's still definitely enough time. It's just a matter of if the Philippines can keep it clean throughout. A lot of 200s coming out from Morona, but they manage to hang on. Kenzie finds yet another drop here. Nobody else finding misses. Both Philippines players above 4,000 combo at the moment going into this last quarter.
I mean, 13,000 points. We saw what happened before. There were a lot of misses on the Rona side, which luckily is not happening right now. It's the total opposite, really. Kenzie's now the one finding misses, and the accuracy disadvantage is in Thailand despite Law School's massive performance. Very impressive work, but it's just not gonna cut it unless we see misses on the Philippines side. It has to be a double miss at this point.
Yeah, basically a combo reset. Oh, there's a significant drop from Morona though. They're gonna drop down just ever so slightly. Another one there, but Kenzie finally trades it back this time around. No harm, no foul at the end of the day, but the lead is starting to shrink. It is 10,000 points, but is there enough time? The misses aren't significant enough. There isn't enough of an accuracy drop either to give Thailand any hope to get back into this. Kenzie finds yet another one, and that might be the final nail in the coffin. Everybody crossing that 900,000 score mark, and I think the Philippines has done enough at the end of the day to secure that final point to win the match by a score 7-1.
Very impressive work. Honestly, both teams were great. The mere fact that Thailand almost took this one as well, like at the very tail end of the match, it honestly looked like the Philippines was the one more affected by fatigue than Thailand. Because if you notice at the end, by the tail end of this match, Thailand is the one who's starting to gain a little bit of traction on this match.
Yeah, but unfortunately too little too late at the end of the day to swing it back in their favor. It was a valiant effort by them, but their tournament run ends here. And for the Philippines, congratulations to them for winning this match. Their weekend is not done just yet. They still need to face off against the winner of what'll be the next match coming up here. And that will be...
It's gonna be China versus Japan, isn't it?
Yep, it is going to be China versus Japan.
Which is the next match, and I think we're gonna be here to stay for now, but look, it's gonna be very interesting, and I can't wait to see. It's gonna be in 13:30 UTC, so we have a short break coming up here. You gotta get your snacks, get your breakfast, whatever time of the world it is, and I just hope that you have a good time watching this match. You could close this out for us, by the way, Sparky. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, stick around, stay tuned. We've got plenty more 7-key World Cup action for you guys here. And in about 37 minutes, we'll bring you guys China versus Japan. Until then, take care, y'all.